Hi guys, it's Reagan, and today I'm going to be talking about my 10 don'ts of Walt Disney World. So I've told you guys a lot of things that you should be doing at Walt Disney World, so I figured let's do some things that you shouldn't be doing at Walt Disney World. So let's get started. Number 1, don't sleep in. If you sleep in, you miss the best times at the parks where it is the least busy because the majority of people are sleeping in. So you can get there at opening, and for instance at Animal Kingdom, you can get there at opening and then run 2 flights of passage, and you may only have to wait 30 minutes of that as opposed to 2.5 hours if you sleep in and get to the parks, let's say at 11 when most people get there. And you can just accomplish so much more during that time than if you slept in. Also, it applies to summer, even when it's the most busiest. Always wake up early because that will give you the most magic for your hour, if that makes sense. Number 2, don't waste fast passes. Use your fast passes on rides that have a 30-minute wait or higher. Don't use your fast passes on rides that typically will have a low wait time, such as Buzz Lightyear, the Teacups, Spaceship Earth, and other rides like that. Spend your fast passes on rides like Tower of Terror, Splash Mountain, Mount Everest, things that are bigger ticket items and typically have a higher wait time. I will tell you though, there are some seasonal rides that I typically wouldn't get a fast pass for because their wait times are low that you should, such as Haunted Mansion during Halloween obviously is really busy. Also, Jungle Cruise is really busy during Christmas in November, like before Thanksgiving during their Christmas time. That is converted to Jingle Cruise, so it's kind of holiday themed and there's a lot more popular during that time. Number 3, do not listen to warnings on rides. So during the rides there will be a lot of warnings, and some rides, like there's not as many as others, but especially like Mission Space where they'll say you get motion sickness or don't ride it if you have heart problems. Don't ride it because Disney is foremost about safety. So my aunt who rode it, who had motion sickness, was like mad at us because she's like, you guys didn't tell me it would make me sick. I was like, there's literally so many times in the ride presentation that it tells you if you have motion sickness, do not ride it. So just pay attention to those because you will be sorry, and the most important thing is safety first, okay? Number 4, don't use taxis. So, when you're at the parks, sometimes if you are staying, especially if you're international and you are staying on property, then you want to go maybe to Target or something like that, use Uber and Lyft because one, they're a lot cheaper than taxis. Also, I think they're more accessible and easier to get than taxis. That's just my preference. Also, when you're on the Disney property, there's buses everywhere. Even if you are not staying on property, you can take a bus from park to park. It doesn't matter. They're not checking magic bands when you get on the bus, and the busing system is pretty good. So use that to take advantage of that, and just don't use taxis because you'll be wasting money that you could be spending on merchandise and other great things that Disney has to offer. Number 5, don't wear uncomfortable clothes. Here's the deal. Disney is super hot and you're going to be walking a ton. So whatever you're wearing has to be comfortable and lightweight. Because otherwise you're going to be unnecessarily sweating, you're going to be super hot, and it's just going to be bad. You're not going to feel great, you're going to have blisters on your feet, and it's just, don't even mess with that. Stay with the magic and just wear comfortable clothes. But if you have like a date or a reservation inside the parks, then definitely wear your nicer clothes if you want to. Just, it depends, know your limits if you just are there for like a couple hours. But definitely for a whole day, do not pack your heels and wear them all day. You will regret it. Oh. Number 6, don't complain about crying babies and things like that unless the parents aren't treating it appropriately. They're just being like not paying attention. But otherwise, you're at a children's park, so don't be like, ugh, another baby crying or da 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 da. If there's a kid, there's so many kids there because it's a children's park, guys. So pay attention to that and just don't be rude, especially to parents and things like that. If maybe their kid is having a tantrum, especially if they're trying to handle it appropriately, they got enough going on. Don't be rude on top of that because it's super annoying and you just look like a jerk. So be nice to people. Number 7, don't use profanity and don't use obscene gestures. Do not cuss a lot at Disney World because first of all, you can't get kicked out of the park if you cuss a lot. And also, if you do any like gestures, if you flip the bird on Splash Mountain, they're gonna catch it, and the cast members will never let you see that photo. It will always be removed. That's why if you see something blank on the photos for the rides, it's because somebody probably did flipped a bird or did something, or there's nudity or something like that, and they will never let you see that photo. There's literally a cast member there to make sure there's no photos like that being processed. Number 8, don't leave the park when it rains. When it rains, a lot of people like to leave the park, so it's a little less busy, but also it rains all the time in Orlando. You just gotta get used to it. It's kind of a downfall a little bit, but it's okay. And just bring your poncho and you'll be totally fine. There's tons of things to do inside. There's a lot of indoor rides. You can watch a show. It's just, stick it out, man, because it's gonna be a waste if you're just chilling in your hotel room forever instead of being out there in the parks. Rain or shine, get your money's worth, right? Number 9, don't spend all your time doing one part of Disney World. What I mean by that is don't spend all your time doing just the rides or just the shows or just the characters. Try to experience it all, because I've known people that are just like, oh, I'm in it just for the rides. Well, Disney is not just all about the rides. If you really are just for all about the rides, then you could go to Six Flags, because there's so much more to Disney than that. The characters experience, I feel, is the best at Disney. It's superior to any other theme park by far. And just go and try to see that, and just maybe meet like Mickey or some classic Disney character. You gotta meet Mickey when you go to Disney World, right? So just try to experience it all. And also the shows are really good. They're not just all like for kids, whatever. They're not gonna be good. The Lion King show is really amazing. Number 10, don't wing it. Here's the deal. When you go to Disney, you gotta have a plan. You can't just be like, oh, no, I want to do this. Because then you'll miss out on stuff you want to do, and you'll only be able to ride like maybe 4 rides or 5 rides that day. That's like nothing. There's like 48 rides at Disney World. If you only rode 4 rides, that's only like a 12th of the rides at Disney World. So get it together, plan before. It's really, really fun, and just make sure you don't wing it. Don't come into the parks that day and be like, oh, I want to do this. You can't have expectations of you winging it, because you won't be able to really do that much. So make sure you plan ahead. Well, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. And also, if you thought this was a good video, just thumbs up. And thanks, guys, so much. And have a great week. Bye!